Hi everyone, Jeff here from Gojo Media. I do in-depth and fun food reviews on YouTube. To find me, just search for Gojo Media Jeff.
If you like new stuff before anybody else, if you like to keep your finger on the pulse, if you like the future and want to be in it, keep on listening, we'll start in a minute. Techwebcast, the hosts and guests are unsurpassed. Techwebcast, cause technology it moves so fast. Techwebcast, ha, stick around and you're gonna have a blast. Yeah! Techwebcast, ha, ha. Techwebcast. Let's go!
Welcome to episode 350 of the Techwebcast podcast, recorded on the 26th of September 2015. Techwebcast is recorded every Saturday at midday Melbourne time. Rate us on iTunes and like us on facebook.com/techwebcast. Follow us on Twitter at Techwebcast and download the Techwebcast iPhone app. Your hosts for today are Brad, Jacob, Steve, Hanna, Paul, and myself, Daryl. And our guest for today is Sarah Williams. Hello, Brad.
Hello, Daryl. How are you?
I'm good, mate. The new iPhone 6S owner. How are you?
Good, mate. I'm very happy. I'm very happy owner. Hannah was supposed to do the intro, wasn't she? I'm not sure.
No, I'm reading the newsletter.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, cool. I didn't know what was going on. What episode is this, Daryl? Did you say 350?
350, exactly. 350.
Yay!
Oh, we got fireworks.
Duck.
So, Daryl, how's your week been, mate?
No, good week. Work was pretty good, and as I said before we started recording, I was at an East Timor event last night here in my town. It's 10 years since our local community had a friendship arrangement with Venalale, which is a village in the mountains of East Timor. So we had the Australian East Timor ambassador there last night, and we sang some East Timorese songs in their actual dialect, which I didn't think we did too bad. But yeah, it was very good.
All right, good stuff, Daryl. And Hanna, how's your week been? You got a new MacBook Pro?
Yes, just a few days ago, I had a new MacBook Pro delivered to me, which is very exciting, and it's so light and thin and fast.
Is that the Retina,
so,
Retina screen, right? The Retina?
Yeah, it's got the Retina screen, and yeah, my last MacBook Pro was 5 years old, so I'm really enjoying the upgrade. And actually, I've written a blog about it for your blog, Brad. I'll
Cool.
talk to you about that afterwards. Yeah.
Oh, cool, thanks. Jacob, how's your week been, mate?
Pretty good, Brad. Pretty good.
All right, mate. Good stuff. You're on here to talk to Daryl, and who are you here to talk to?
I'm here to talk to you about your new iPhone.
What do you want to know about it?
All I want to know, because I tested it with for an hour or so with you.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, it's good phone. Love it. Nice phone. Like the 3T touch on it and stuff, and that's my favorite feature saver of it.
And the FaceTime is improved, and you should like the Taptic 3D screen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Paul, you got your phone yesterday too, mate. How do you like your phone? Welcome to the show, by the way.
Hi, how you going, Brad? Yeah, it's really good so far. It's still restoring, so I haven't really had a chance to actually use it yet. So hopefully it'll finish sometime today, and I can have a go at it.
Hang on for a second. What did you say? Did you say your phone's still syncing?
It's still restoring, yeah.
Oh wow, really?
Not a really, really
Yeah.
long time. Why
Yeah,
is it taking so?
Yeah, why is that? Mine didn't take that long to do.
I have a lot of apps, so essentially it takes me probably a day or two to sync.
Yeah, I
That
don't.
is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just do it from iTunes, mate. Maybe.
It is from iTunes.
It'll be restoring the backup. So, and if you've backed up, that takes a lot of time if you've got a lot of apps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And did you
I
get,
tend to.
sorry, Daryl. Did you get your what?
I tend to, when I get a new phone, I don't even restore. About what I do is I give it a fresh. I restore. I'm in my with the say if I had the 6S, I would just run it and then I would just re-download the apps I need.
Okay. Set up as a new
So
iPhone.
so I don't go and put the whole lot back, because I always take it the opportunity, because like we all do, we all get apps and then apps we never use, and I'm too lazy to go through. So when I get a new phone, it's a chance to review what apps I've got, and if I don't like certain app, or I haven't used an app for a year, and I think, what's that do? And I think, well, if I don't know what it does, why have it?
All right, we've got Steve on. Welcome, Steve. How's your week been, mate?
Hey, how you doing, Brad? Doing pretty good. I'm still rocking my iPhone 5S 5S, and finally, with the new iOS 9 that I installed on it, I had a problem for a long time. I was just getting 3G and not LTE service, so there's been a wireless provider update as well, so that fixed my LTE 4G problems. So I'm happy with that.
Yay.
Yay!
So you're getting lightning 4G speeds now.
Yeah, it's funny because it said provider wireless provider has some new updates, and I clicked and then it installed. So I'm like, I wonder if that fixed my LTE 4G problem. So I went in there. Initially, I clicked on it, and I could see the 3G flash turn off and turn back on. I'm like, it seemed like it was faster, but it wasn't showing like 4G or LTE. And then, so later on, I just left it on all the time, and then the little sign popped up LTE. I'm like, okay, it's working for sure. So that was great news. And
now you've just got to watch your data allowance that you don't suddenly run out.
Yeah, that's true.
Speeds.
Usually, if I'm in, have Wi-Fi in the area, then I will use, Wi-Fi, and then just use, my data, cellular data, when, I'm out of wireless range or something. And did we lose Brad, or is...
Yeah, we lost Brad. Does that mean that we lost the recording as well?
Actually, I'm still recording. We could technically keep on doing it. Hey, yeah, we don't. But yeah,
I could go ahead and do the news.
yeah.
Hanna takes over the podcast.
Well,
that's right.
Like the news, I will just read it out. We can just do it, and then
we can when Brad gets back.
Afterwards.
Oop, and
that sounds like something. The microwave.
And it's ready.
I'm sorry that that's so loud. Oh my god. That's Brad telling me, grr, his internet dropped out.
Well, we can keep on going. Just let him know that I'm recording on my ends. We never stopped, so maybe he could, once it gets going, or, well, ask him what he wants to do, and then...
You might just have to drop your get your recording going.
Yeah, that's right. Keep it going. That's what I say.
And now we have Hanna for the news. No.
Yes.
Okay, I just messaged Brad, so we're going to keep on going. All right, how's my sound? I plugged in my headphones so that you don't have to hear all my dings.
No, it sounds great.
It's great, yeah.
I'm going to get the sound that I have the sound from Brad.
Oh, okay. All right.
Give me 1 second. I have everything all over the place. I have 4 folders full of music.
Oh God.
That I get free from the internet. Top attack.
Hey, Steve, do you edit down the recording afterwards?
Usually not unless I have to, but
Because so far, like the last 3 minutes have just been gold.
I know it's
yeah.
it's better than dead air though.
Yeah, that's true.
Is it?
Silence.
Is it really?
Silence. Okay. And
At least with dead air, one is left to one's own thoughts.
well, maybe we can just bypass the music because Jacob's.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
start
Jacob,
with the
don't worry
news.
about the music.
Yes.
Okay. Shall we go with the news?
Yeah, go ahead.
Consensus?
Yes, I put my hand up. If you could see.
Okay. Here goes the news. Story number 1. Forget long lines. This woman bought an iPhone via telepresence. Apple Store employees weren't fazed at all by the robot in line. It might have been a most unusual customer to ever appear at Apple's Palo Alto store, but not entirely out of place in the heart of Silicon Valley. On Friday morning, among the hundreds who queued for the iPhone 6s to go on sale, it was not human, not animal, but machine. Brianna Lampesis in San Diego was inside the machine, a beam telepresence robot that's capable of trundling around on wheels and video conferencing with anyone it meets. I should describe, it's worth Googling just to look at this picture, but I'll just describe. It's like this thing is on wheels, and then and up top at face height there is a screen, and so you can see the woman's face on the screen, and there's a webcam. So it's basically just like a portable computer screen that just goes trundling around. And Lampesis works for Suitable Technologies, the company that sells the robot, and her presence in line at Palo Alto was more to generate publicity for the product than anything else. But it worked. Not only did Lampesis manage to get interviewed by numerous local TV crews, but Apple also entertained this unusual way of buying an iPhone. Once inside the store, she was able to communicate with an Apple employee and go through the entire purchase procedure. It turned out some money had been stashed inside a rear panel of the robot, and an Apple employee retrieved it upon instruction. I have to say that's a bold move to send this robot, which presumably would be very expensive, out onto the street, and for them to not be worried. They must have had someone sort of hovering nearby just in case someone decided to, like, smash it, for example.
Mug the robot.
The Sheldon bot.
Probably
Someone
has
watches
a
Big Bang Theory.
probably
I
has
would
an
say.
integrated stun gun if somebody tries to mess with it.
All right, I'll go into the second story. Telstra announces superfast mobile broadband world first. A new mobile device announced by Telstra on Wednesday will theoretically deliver download speeds of up to 600 megabits per second in select areas, up to 6 times faster than what the Turnbull government's fibre to the node network will be able to deliver under its current design. The Telstra Wi-Fi 4GX Advanced 3 mobile broadband hotspot created by Netgear is the latest superfast mobile broadband device to join Telstra's product range and uses 3-band carrier aggregation technology. It will retail for $264 and be available September 29 onwards. However, plans and prepaid data packages for the new device have not yet been announced. It's a sure bet, though, that they are unlikely to be cheap. To give some indication of what pricing might be like, one only needs to look at what a Telstra customer pays on a $35 a month plan where they get just 4 gigabytes of data. With the new hotspot, that limit would be blown in about 50 seconds if you were downloading at 600 megabits per second constantly. Yeah, but like, who does that? I mean, if you know that you've only got a 4 gigabyte limit, surely you're not going to just go and blow that just because you can. Well, okay. Yeah.
They need a terabyte limit.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, it's just going to mean that it's great, but it's just going to mean that we're all going to be downloading stuff so much quicker, and we're going to use our allowances in like seconds rather than months.
Yeah, you'll probably get some people saying we're not worthy.
We're not worthy.
I'm sure that, I mean, the allowances that we get nowadays, we were not getting 2 years ago or 3 years ago. 3 years ago we were still, maybe you were lucky to get 500 megabytes, but with so far the tele companies have been managing to keep up not too badly, considering they're improving the speed. Anyway, I don't know if that made sense, but I think you know what I mean.
But that's only a theoretical speed, because, I mean, as soon as...
Sure.
That'd be like if one person used the phone tower, or two or three people. Once you get 100 or 500 people dragging off a tower, it will come down anyway. So what's theoretical and what's practical, two different things.
Yeah. Real life speeds, I reckon, will be around the 300 mark. Probably be half.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Still pretty damn good.
Yeah, for us, we're going to get 20 gigs a second. That's our new 5G.
Oh, I don't think we'll see that.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that? 20 gigs a second?
Well, it's probably
doesn't
20
sound right.
gigabits per second.
No, it's 20 gigs a second.
I guess that's a theoretical limit of maybe 5G when it rolls out. But yeah, you've got to have devices and you've got to have a need for 20 gigs a second.
Yeah, but really, in reality, it says 1 gig. Both ways.
Yeah.
And Brad's back. Hey, Brad.
Hello.
Oop, is he there?
Maybe he's
And
still,
We're back.
maybe
Hang on.
still
I just
having issues.
hit pause
Hey.
the recording so I can edit that blank part out. That's all right.
Brad,
Do you want to keep doing the podcast, Hanna, or do you want to restart it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we'll
I'm
keep
still
going.
recording. I'm still recording on this end.
we were
Yeah.
still going.
Yep, we're still
In
going.
fact, there's only one story left, so I shall read it now.
But we didn't.
Yes.
I didn't get it. I didn't come into the recording. The recording stopped.
No, on my end,
Ah,
I've been recording audio.
Steve's
Oh, he's-
recording.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're still
goodness.
going.
Did you mention Sarah's name? Sarah's here as well. Did you mention Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Sarah didn't get a chance to speak, so I didn't ask about a week.
Okay, we could ask her now.
Well, how about I finish the last story? You can
Okay.
edit out all this talking. I'll finish
go
the
ahead.
last story, and then you can talk to Sarah.
Go
How
ahead,
does
Hanna.
that sound?
Sounds good to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. And now the last story. Windows 10 downloads secretly onto PCs. Microsoft update silently steals gigabytes of storage space. Dun, dun, dun. Microsoft has confirmed that it downloads Windows 10 files to computers just in case users decide to upgrade. The company wants to make the migration to Win 10 as efficient as possible, but the files take up somewhere between 3.5 to 6 gigabytes of space. The situation was first reported by an anonymous reader at the Inquirer, who found the squiggly line BT folder used for storing copies of Windows 10 had appeared on his system despite the user not expressing any interest in upgrading. I know of 2 instances where people on metered connections went over their data cap for August because of this unwanted download, he said. My own internet, which is slow DSL, was crawling for a week or so until I discovered this problem. Microsoft confirmed the problem in a statement to the publication. For individuals who have chosen to receive automatic updates through Windows Update, we help upgradable devices get ready for Windows 10 by downloading the files they'll need if they decide to upgrade, the statement read. The reader explained that the way to check whether Microsoft had done the same to your machine is to look for repeated failed instances of upgrade to Windows 10 in the Windows Update history and a large folder called $windows.squigglylinebt. It's not the first time Microsoft has got in hot water over secret Windows 10 transfers. Last month, it was discovered that the new OS was secretly communicating with Redmond. Who is this Redmond? I don't know who that is. Even if the user had turned on all privacy features and explicitly requested not to send data to Microsoft. It is, however, an odd move for a company that has seen success with its release. Less than a month after launch, Microsoft announced the software was now running on over 75 million devices. Almost every country in the world has a device running Windows 10. With this level of user acceptance, why does Microsoft need to secretly download the upgrade? And that's the news. Oh, and let me quickly mention, if you want to check out reviews of tech, check out Belinda Vlogs. You can find her on YouTube at youtube.com/BDEMY10.
All right, can you just quickly mention them 6 stories real quick again, Hannah, because the recording didn't catch the start of it. So can you just quickly just mention them real quick?
What am I doing again?
The news. Just recap the news again, because some people may miss that part because the recording stopped.
Okay.
If that's okay.
So a quick recap. A woman bought a new a woman bought a new Apple iPhone 6 via her robot.
That's cool. Yep.
Telstra is talking about a new mobile device which will be extremely fast for mobile broadband. I skipped a story. Oh, it was boring anyway.
Okay. That's all right.
The story I skipped was Microsoft kills Safe Disk DRM on Windows 7 and 8.
But that
because nobody liked it.
That news story about the robot's pretty cool, though, isn't it?
Yeah. And yes, and then there was the final story about Windows 10 being downloaded secretly onto PCs and being generally annoying for people.
All right, cool. Not a fan of Microsoft. I'm an Apple fan. Sarah, welcome to the show, by the way. And how's your week been?
Hi there. It's been great. I'm getting back from the trip that we're about to talk about, getting used to life and society and all that stuff again, which is great.
Cool. And your mum's Mary. She does a lot of Meerkat stuff. Tell us about. Do you use Meerkat and mention your mum real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't broadcast on Meerkat myself, but my mom is very avid and is very good at it and has a lot of followers in her community. Mm-hmm. Her handle is Peace Love Dove, I believe, and she does all sorts of fun stuff. She cooks, she creates, she paints, all for entertainment, and talks to people. And she also does a caregiver's speech every Sunday night and talks about caregiving and every facet of that.
Okay.
And she's reached a lot of people, and people seem to be very receptive to her and what she has to offer.
And she's also an Apple fan.
Oh, the biggest. Yes. I think she does a broadcast whenever she gets a new product, opening it up and testing it out, all the good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, hello to Mary. And if you haven't seen Mary's stream on Meerkat, check it out. It's really cool. She does some cool stuff. And she went to Las Vegas. She went somewhere in Las Vegas the other night. It was really cool. And she did a tour around that, and she played some slot machines.
Yeah, she likes to go on the strip and take everybody with and ask them their opinions on what number to bet, and she makes it fun and interactive.
Yeah, it does. That's what I like about it. It's really cool, and yeah, she's great lady. So tell us about the walk in the charity water.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago I started on a journey, a hike, if you will, through the Sierra Nevada mountains in California of the United States. It's a 210-mile trail through Ansel Adams Wilderness, Sequoia, and Kings Canyon National Parks. And I did it solo, but in the process of doing the hike, I started a campaign with an organization called Charity Water to help raise money for clean water projects around the world, bringing the ability for different villages to have clean water so they can spend their time doing more productive things, such as going to school, and the sanitation is much better. And it just helps out all facets of life, and something I'm super passionate about and wanted to find a way to be able to help. And so with Charity Water, you can start campaigns for all different sorts of things. And that's what I chose to do for my campaign, was to walk the John Muir Trail, is what it was called.
All right. Hanna, any questions for Sarah? Steve, what about you? Any questions for Sarah?
Oh yeah. I was looking on your website, and I seen how walking this trail, is it, how high is it elevation? Is it like pretty high? I believe it's Mount Whitney, I think.
Yeah, Mount Whitney is the start or the end, depending on which direction you go, but it ends at Mount Whitney, which is 14,505 feet, which is certainly the highest point. But I would say it stays above 10,000 feet for a majority of the trail. And there are several mountain passes which go into the 1200s, but ultimately to that 1400.
Well, is certain sections kind of dangerous? Because I know, it's... Does it like squeeze down to a small path in some areas?
It does. I mean, the only time I ever thought the trail was very dangerous was at the top of one of the mountain passes called Glen Pass. It was very, very steep, very narrow, and very windy.
Wow.
So all the things, like if you're slightly afraid of heights, it would certainly bring that out. And if you have any kind of misstep, then you would be rolling down. And not
definitely.
Good shape.
Yeah, definitely. What sort of food did you cook in that on there, Sarah? And how long did it take you? Was it a month or how many weeks was it?
I ended up doing the trail in 18 days.
Okay.
It's a little faster, I think, than average. Most people who go do it, I would say 25 to 30 days if they're really taking their time to really enjoy everything. But I didn't have that much time, so I wanted to get through it but still enjoy it as much as I possibly could. For food, I had a little one-person stove with it's a gas stove, and I brought one pot. So I did a lot of dehydrated meals for dinner.
Wow.
You can buy dehydrated meals at any sporting goods store, or you can certainly do it yourself if you have a dehydrator. And for lunch, I did tuna packets but also on separate almond butter packets, or you could do peanut butter and tortillas. That was a really great energetic lunch. And then every morning for breakfast I did oatmeal, but I added things to it like dehydrated fruit and chia seeds and protein powder to help make it a little bit more worth my while, if you will.
Nice one. And what about the weather? Did you come across any bad weather, or was the weather good? Or
so the actual weather was great. It was sunny, the temperature was lovely. I didn't see any rain, which I was a little disappointed in because the Sierra Nevada mountains are known for having really beautiful afternoon storms. But the only type of sort of weather I faced that was a little non-favorable was smoke from a wildfire that was in the area, which actually covered the trail for a couple of days, so you couldn't see a mile ahead or a mile behind, which was slightly disappointed. On top of the mountain passes because you want that view, but the smoke did take that view away. And a lot of people ended up leaving the trail actually because of how bad the smoke was getting.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I wanted to press on and I felt okay, so I did that.
Good on you. And then how many people were on the trail? How many people were doing it?
I think this statistic could be wrong, but I believe that there's over 1,000 people who did it this year. Who attempted it. I don't know if that's finished, but that's how many permits were given.
Okay.
In the beginning and the end, so the beginning was Yosemite Valley, which is a very popular national park, and then Mount Whitney, of course, is a very popular destination. So each day near those destinations, I would say I saw maybe 50 people throughout the day. What
was that name called? You said, what was that first name you said?
Yosemite.
Yeah, that's the name of a Mac operating system.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real place as well, Brad.
I realize
they
that.
did name it after a real place.
I'm just saying that out. I know that, mate. I don't realize that.
There in the middle, I didn't see too many faces because it was the middle and because of the smoke.
Okay.
So with those two things,
no.
I would say maybe I saw 2 or 3 people a day.
Cool. Okay. Paul, any questions for Sarah?
Yeah. Is this your first mountain you've hiked, or you've done a couple, or?
I've done a few short trips. I would say the longest trip I've ever done was maybe a 3 or 4 day trip. So this was quite the stretch for me from going from 4 days to 18 days. But I had the basics down, and I definitely want to go back and do more like it.
All right. What about? Cool. Any more questions, Paul?
Yeah. Have you ever also climbed mountains, like actually cliff hangers or that type of stuff, or you like the hiking on the type mountains of stuff like that?
Yeah, as of right now, that's where my skill level is, and that's all I have done. But I definitely have a dream of being able to climb as well. I did meet a lot of climbers when I was out there, and you have to be a good hiker first because you have to be able to get to the base camp of certain mountains first before you can ascend. But I definitely want to. I was just at a rock climbing gym today, actually, improving my grip strength, if you will, so I can get better and more knowledgeable to be able to do something like that in the actual wilderness.
Well, Yosemite has El Capitan, so that would be
Yeah.
the ultimate test of climbing a rock.
Yes.
And that comes out next week too. That software update too. That comes out next week.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
Hannah, any questions for Sarah? Hannah's not talking. Daryl, what about you, Daryl? Any questions? Any comments you want to mention?
The track or the track that you're on, I was trying to. I've been to Lake Donna and I've been to where the Donner Party, somewhere where the Donner Party, went through back in the 1800s. Does that track lead you right through to California, like from the Sierra Nevadas down into California?
Yeah, the whole entire trail is within California.
Oh, yeah, because I went up when my brother lives in Sacramento, and we went up into the Sierra Nevadas and just drove up. We didn't do all the heavy hiking and that. We just drove up to Lake Donna and to where the Donner Party camped and that. So I was just wondering how far you actually walked, whether you walked sort of where the wagon trains tried to get through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's certain parts of the trail that are more easy to get to if you just want to do a section, which is very cool.
Yeah, right. So Sarah, are you into what sort of technology things do you like to get into? Are you a geek?
Not as much as I should be. My mom, of course, and then my brother are both the tech geeks, quote unquote, of the family, so I get all my information from them.
Okay, cool.
But yeah.
All right. What else do you want to mention about what you did over there with the charity water and stuff in the walk? Anything else you want to mention?
Just thought it was a great experience, and if anybody is ever thinking about doing something like that you can and that you should.
All right. Jacob, what about you? Would you do this walk, Jacob, or would you let someone sponsor you to walk this to do this or not at all?
Brad, I wouldn't be able to make it up the hill.
I knew that.
I think it's a bit more than just
At least you're honest, Jacob.
Yeah, that is true.
Did you notice, because I know California's in the midst of a severe drought, did you notice on your walk the effects of the drought in the Sierra Nevadas?
Because a lot of the areas that I went to it was the first time I had been there, I was not able to pick up on anything necessarily, but there was a lot of people that I had talked to who had spent some significant time in the area who kept mentioning how low the rivers were and the lakes, and that at one point it was a raging river and now it's just a little tiny stream that you can walk with your boots on through. So, I mean, that, and of course the wildfires and how bad those are right now, just because everything is dry, I would say were the two main areas in which I saw the drought.
Okay. Question from Hanna. What sort of device did you use to track your location, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so I used what's called a spot device. It is a GPS-driven device that you can send out pre-selected messages to whatever avenue you want. So I actually linked my device to my Twitter account so that every single time I hit a specific button, it would send my location and then a small message that I had pre-written to a Twitter update.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I checked in twice a day. I checked in once at lunch and then wherever I got to at camp every single night, just for whoever was interested in following my path on the trail. I did bring my iPhone, and I used it for video. I did bring a separate camera for still photography, but I had it just in case because I've been in situations before where the iPhone has severely saved me.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think of the new iPhone, Sarah? Have you seen the new iPhone XS?
I watched the keynote, but I have not seen it in person.
What do you think of it?
I think it's great. I love the idea of the 3D touch. I think it might take some getting used to, of course, any new software, but
Yeah.
I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, definitely. See, if you had that phone, you could record the video in 4K. You had that phone.
Yeah.
That would have been a good video.
Yeah.
To get and yeah. What else, Sarah? Do you want to tell us about what you did and what else did you do?
It was fairly simple, and
Okay.
I think that was the theme of it.
Okay.
So can people donate? Can people go? Is there a website that people can go to now and donate to the projects that you were raising money for?
Yeah, my campaign is actually still open for the next 5 days. I had a goal to raise $3,000, and I actually surpassed my goal with now it being $1,620. So
Good on you.
Very happy and excited, and can't believe that I was actually able to raise that money, and so happy that I did. And to everyone who helped, it's a group effort, and so there is a link. I think it is in the notes.
Yeah, it is. Yep. I'll put that link in the show notes after the podcast so people can check it out. Do you have a blog at all, Sarah, so people can check it out? Or
I don't. I have all of the images that I shot being updated to my Instagram account, which is a public account, free to peruse. I've been posting all the images that I shot on my still camera.
All right, cool. Okay, and what sort of camera do you use?
For this particular trip, I bought a brand new camera. It's a Fuji XT10. It's not an SLR, but it has interchangeable lenses, and it has a capability to shoot in RAW and manual. And so I was able to really capture the nuances of the beautiful lighting up there.
Very cool.
It's also a very cool camera because it creates its own wireless, so that I can transmit images that I shoot on the camera directly to my phone and be able to upload them if I had service.
All right. Hannah, do you want to go ahead, Hannah? What do you want to say?
Yeah, Sarah, I'm wondering what's next for you. Are you going to? Do you think can you see yourself doing something else to raise money for the same charity or a different charity? Or are you going to take a break for a while? Or what's next for you?
Well, I generally always have that question answered in my head. Like I always know what's coming next. But as of right now, I don't. I'm going to continue backpacking, and I want to do bigger and better and longer hikes. And I would love to find a way to integrate more charity work into that. So that's the avenue, but I don't know what the destination is quite yet.
Mount Everest.
Cool.
Yeah, I watched Everest. And the first half of the movie, I was like, yeah, I want to do this. And the second half, I was like, no, it's a bad idea.
All right, Sarah, thanks for being on. Appreciate your time. Any other questions, Hannah, you want to mention, Sarah, before she goes? Or?
No, I wish you good luck in whatever is your next endeavor.
Yeah, definitely. Any plans coming to Australia at all, Sarah?
Potentially, actually, yes.
Which part of Australia?
I have a really good friend who lives in Brisbane.
Okay, cool.
Yay.
So.
Are you going to come to Melbourne?
I love it there. So
you should come to Melbourne. Yeah, we should meet up, and yeah, maybe Mary can come as well.
Oh, she would love that. Yeah, she's been wanting to go there, I think, her whole life.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Do you want to hang around, Sarah, or do you need to go?
I need to go.
All right, cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Of course.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. So yeah, that was Sarah. Hannah.
Cool. She's great. Wow, what a woman. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah.
But to not only go doing that physical requirement, but also to selflessly make it into something for other people. It takes a special kind of person and a special kind of strength to do that. I'm an admirer.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. Definitely. Paul, let's talk about the iPhone real quick, mate. You got your iPhone yesterday, so did I. So what's your take on it so far, mate?
Well, there's not really much. I had a bit of a look at the Force. Sorry, I almost said Force Touch. 3D Touch.
3D Touch.
It's actually really good.
There's no Force Touch, is there, on the phone, is there?
Well, the Force Touch is a 3D Touch. They just renamed it.
Okay,
yeah, so it's literally the same thing you're used to on the Apple Watch. except it's on a bigger scale, obviously.
Yep.
But yeah, I noticed the first thing that I noticed was when I set up the fingerprint reader. It's much improved compared to how it was previously. It's less than a second to actually unlock, which is better than the 2 seconds it took last time, so it is faster. So that's pretty cool. Camera, haven't really touched it. I did turn on the 4K. That's all I did. I haven't really had a chance to really use it as such. As I said, it's still actually restoring.
How do you
But
turn the 4K on, Paul? How do you turn that on? How do you turn that on, the 4K part? I'm not sure how to turn that on. On
it's all in the settings under the camera. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me check that. Okay, sweet.
In settings under camera. So if you go settings, it'll say display. And you scroll down, it'll say, where is it? Photos and camera. Just go on there, and that'll give you the option for 4K.
4K. Where's 4K? 4K. I don't have an option for 4K.
You got to go into.
Maybe you guys can figure it out.
Are you in photos and camera?
Yeah, I am. Yep.
Okay,
I am.
so if you scroll down, there should be record video. Yeah.
Oh,
and then when you click on record video, and you can change the You can also change the slow-mo as well if you wanted to go 1080p, 120 frames per second.
Nice. So not many people use 4K in Australia, I don't think, because their internet is pretty shit and they don't have cable. A lot of people I know don't have really fast internet. But
it's that, but also most people don't have 4K screens, so there isn't really much point. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not sure why they added 4K in that phone, but
it's just something else so that Apple can go, and look at what we've done, aren't we special?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Putting a bit of
I'm probably one of the 1% that's exception to the rule, because I've been filming in 4K probably for the last 2 years. And plus I do have a lot of 4K content that I try to put on YouTube as well. So
yeah,
I'm glad they added it to the iPhone, because when I don't have my 4K camera with me, I can actually just whip out a phone and conveniently use it when. So it is convenient to me to have the 4K in there.
And it's probably a bit of
sizes is the other thing. The file sizes must be just freaking massive.
Raw 4K will it will. I believe that the iPhone's not using native raw 4K, because if it did, 128 gigabytes still wouldn't be enough for 10-minute video.
Wow.
So yeah, I believe it's compressed to a point where it's still visible as 4K, but you can still use it as 4K.
Okay, cool.
All right, cool. Jacob, any questions?
Nah.
Okay, no questions. Daryl, what about you? Any questions for us? Paul's got an iPhone, so do I. So any questions?
Yeah, the iPhone 6S. So is the new 3D Touch? Do you think it's going to be one of those things that'll be easy for people? I mean, I'm sort of more talking, if you like, the average iPhone user that might upgrade. Do you think it'll be pretty easy for them to use? There's not a steep learning curve in.
Well, it took me a couple of minutes to get used to it. So there's an option in this where you can change the how much you can press on and that sort of thing.
Yep.
And it's pretty easy to use. What about you, Paul? You haven't used much of it because you haven't got your phone working yet?
Yeah, I would use it if more obviously developers add more options to that functionality. So as far as I can tell, like the camera option, really quick video, you just press down and click on the video and you start filming. As opposed to going into the camera app and pressing record, you could do it all in one click with Force Touch, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I like Force Touch on the actual MacBook, as well as obviously on the Apple Watch as well. Yeah. So having it on the iPhone is even better, because it's on a bigger scale screen. So It's definitely worth a look. They just need more developers to take advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely. Are you going to be getting the iPad Pro, Paul?
I am thinking about it, but I'm still tossing up between my MacBook and an iPad Pro. So to have to see what the iPad Pro would offer for me to go for an iPad Pro.
Yeah, I think it's just the bigger screen, and they did a Microsoft thing on the keynote, which is sort of annoying. I don't know why they brought Microsoft into it.
I think trying to make the iPad Pro popular will people in business. I think Apple want the device not just to be for content creators or people wanting to watch content on their device. They want people in offices and businesses to use it. So that's why I think they did the partnership with Microsoft to say, well, you've already got Microsoft Office, which is probably the most popular business Office suite. Why not port it to the iPad, and then the iPad can suddenly, compete with notebooks in the office space.
Yeah, definitely. So it's more for business people.
Well, I think that's the reason they did the deal with Microsoft, because Apple's got their own pages and their own suite, but Microsoft dominates the Office. Like, you go to any big office or something and you switch your computer on, it'll have Microsoft Office floating around, some version floating around. So if they can get a good version of that ported onto the iPad, they can then turn around and market the iPad, not just for those that want to watch video or content creators, but to actual business houses. They can say, hey, you can have this iPad and you can use it at your office rather than buying a notebook. It's interesting for Microsoft because this competes against Microsoft's own tablet, the Surface.
Yeah.
The Surface tablets. So for Microsoft to port, it's a big change for Microsoft too, because they're actually porting their software onto a competing tablet. So I think Microsoft's changed its philosophy. It's saying these days, we don't care what device you use, as long as you use Office on that device.
Yeah, which is very smart. I was just thinking about this before, actually, as I was installing the Google Talk plugin on my new MacBook, about how I think they did used to be a lot of resistance between the big companies to not want to either make their stuff available to other companies' products, or vice versa, to block their products. But we're living in a day and age where sometimes human demand is exceeding the technology, or human demand is moving along at an extremely fast pace. And I think we are in a time where if you run a technology company and you think that you can get away with imposing a limitation on telling your users what they can and can't do with your device, I think you're dreaming, and it's the perfect way to create animosity, to say, no, you can't install this other company's stuff on your device that you bought from us. So I'm glad, it's the right thing for Microsoft to be doing, to just go, yeah, cool, just install our stuff wherever you want, whatever device. That's very smart. And it was done what they were doing before. It's childish, really, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Steve, what's your view on that? Steve, what's your view on all that, mate?
Actually, Microsoft's always makes most of its money through business and software and services, and not really so much hardware, even though the Surface Pro is starting to catch on. So yeah, it makes sense for Microsoft to put their Office on as many devices as possible. And like online, I forgot what they call it now. Microsoft
365.
Yeah, 365. Yeah. So if they can get them a subscription service, then I think that'll work just as well for Microsoft. And
Well, it was great. I mean, I know it's a side issue, but it was great because Microsoft just released Office 2016 this week, and I've got an Office 365 account, but it's just the personal account, so I can install them. And I just clicked the button, and it downloaded the new version onto the computer. It didn't cost me anything extra. It cost me about $8, $9 a month for the subscription, but I instantly had Office 2016. No buying DVDs, no, paying several $100s for DVDs. Just clicked on the link. It said, "You want the new one?" I said, "Yeah," and it downloaded it.
All right, cool. All right, sounds good. So, Paul, anything else you want to mention about the phone, mate?
Yeah, it's good so far, I guess. There's not really anything I can say about it.
What about the new Watch OS 2 and the iOS 9? I'm loving the new Watch OS and iOS 9 on my devices. They works fantastic.
Yeah, I like the clock interface and the time machine type thing where you can go forward and backward in time, not literally, but actual, to see what the weather is, a few hours or a day in advance, or actually not just weather, but everything like your calendar entries, anything like that. It's like on the Pebble time where you can actually just go through time and go back through time and see your schedules and that type of stuff. You do the same thing on the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really good. iOS 9, I haven't had any problems as yet. I like the split screen function on the iPad.
Yeah, definitely.
I use that pretty much all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, pretty good so far.
What apps do you use on your iPad, Paul? Do you use Netflix and that?
Well, Netflix, I would really like to see that on was it PIP? You know, the one how it goes into a small window and you can watch the video while you're doing other stuff.
Yeah, picture, yep.
Picture, that's it.
Yep.
So when they start supporting that, that'd be awesome for Netflix, because then you could just do other stuff and see your Netflix going at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. That.
Yeah.
What about you, Hanna? Are you enjoying your new MacBook Pro and iOS 9 on your phone?
Yeah, well, I haven't upgraded to iOS 9 because I'm going to get the new 6S phone, but later in the year. So I'm sort of saving the new operating system as a surprise for myself.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, so the new MacBook Pro also has Force Touch on the trackpad. And
Yep.
I mean, I've done a little bit of research, but so far I haven't found anybody sharing more than 15 uses for the Force Touch on the trackpad. And the funny thing is, the trackpad has a haptic feedback, which means it buzzes, so it feels like it's clicking, but it's not actually clicking, which is the weirdest thing to learn that, because when you press it, it totally feels like it's clicking, but it does. Apparently, this trackpad doesn't actually go down at all. It just makes you think it does. But yeah, so far I'm finding the applications of what you can do with the Force Touch on the MacBook Pro is a bit limited, and isn't it's indicating that it's going to provide future more intuitive uses, but so far it's a bit boring. It's like, okay, if you use Force Touch on, which just means you press down once so it clicks, and then press down again so it clicks a second time, on a file name, then it gives you the ability to rename the file. Or if you use Force Touch on a picture of the file, it gives you the preview as if you had pressed the space bar. So far they're just doing things that maybe just cut out one step or one physical movement, like you don't have to press the space bar. You can just use Force Touch. There's also like, if you're going to draw with it, it's pressure sensitive. So if you press down harder with your drawing on the trackpad, then the line gets thicker. So yeah, things like that. It will be really interesting to see where we're at in 2 years' time with the capabilities of Force Touch. But at the moment, it's early days and it's a little bit boring and, yeah, not that useful. I think they're trying to figure out what they can do with it.
All right, cool. All right, and there's a blog post coming soon from you, Hanna, if you want to put it up, if you're still doing it.
Yeah,
cool.
I just have to put the finishing touches on it.
All right, cool, thanks for that. Appreciate that. Jacob, you're telling me to wrap up, so I'm going to wrap up now. And what do you want to say before we go?
I like what I saw with the iPhones 6S.
Yeah. You going to get one, Matt?
Brad, if I tried to get it, my hole in my pocket would be so big that I don't even have my own money.
All right, let's not go into that. Daryl, what about you, mate?
Yeah, no, the iPhone looks really good. I think again the sort of 3D or Force Touch, whatever, it's a work in progress, and I think as soon as more app developers and more come to the party, that sort of thing's only going to get better and better and better. I think the cameras are great. I mean, 4K, yes, there's not a lot of us that have 4K screens or can stream
4K.
anything in 4K. But again, it's one of those things where, as Hanna said, A, it's Apple saying, hey, look what we can do, and B, it's also, again, future-proofing, because 4K is going to be coming somewhere down the track, and so Apple are getting in now and saying, well, if you're looking in a year or two or three even at 4K, we already have it on our devices. So it's just a bit of future-proofing, a bit of marketing, and that as well. And of course, like Paul, there are people out there who genuinely use 4K at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Daryl, have you got into Apple Music or Spotify, or are you just still gonna?
Not yet, but I am going to have a look at Spotify. I think, yeah, I'm going to have a look at Spotify and get in. I might, but I haven't really. I mean, I've been very slack when it's come to music. I'm probably a bit of a dinosaur, so I have to get my act together and listen to some more modern music and get my head out of listening to old stuff that I like listening to, because I don't want to end up like my parents and just be saying, oh, this is new modern music.
There's nothing wrong with listening to old music. There's more scientific evidence coming out that just demonstrates that pretty much all. I think the statistic was something like once you hit the age of 32, the music that you like is pretty much going to be the music that you always like forever, and to like any new music is basically quite difficult for our brains.
It's interesting that, because I know, I used to always think when I'd see the older generations, and they'd get to the stage where they'd be always criticising the young generation. Oh, why do you listen to that stuff? And I used to say to myself, that's never going to be me. I'm going to be.
Wrap up, Daryl. So we need to wrap up, mate. So don't want to keep it an hour now. Where can they get hold of you, Daryl, if they want to ask you?
I'm at Twitter at LearnScape, or Daryl Hunt on Google Plus. I usually haunt Google Plus. Right. So yep.
And also, we just want to announce that you're going to be on the podcast each week from now on, as from today.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for inviting me to be a regular.
And Techluster, what about that?
Jacob and I'll have to have a chat at some stage, I guess.
Oh, that sort of went to that lasts for like 2 seconds and it was dead in the water. So Jacob, what's your view on the show, mate?
It's pretty good, and Techluster, I don't think it's going to do well.
Really? Why is that?
Because I've tried several things and got no hits, no views, no nothing. No good.
So you just want to be on this podcast just to freeload?
Freeload?
I'm joking. Because we do get the best guest on each week, mate. That's why you're here. That's why you want to be on here.
Yes, because it helps me get out there with people.
Really?
Yeah.
In what way?
My communication skills get better and better and better.
What do you think about that, Hanna?
I think that's awesome. Good on you, Jacob. I'm glad to hear you're so self-aware. That's great.
I don't want.
Yeah, good on you, mate.
Go on.
I just don't want to make myself look like I'm in the gutters and trash. Not how to talk to people correctly.
Awesome. Yeah, it's an important thing.
Well, you're not home, Jacob. Cool. Paul, what about you, mate? Before Hanna, where can they hold you?
Me?
Yeah,
you can. Sorry. Who are you talking to, Brad?
Hanna. I'm talking to Hanna.
I am everywhere and nowhere. Google if you look for Hanna's, spelled Hanna and then silver like the color. Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Look for me on youtube.com/Astrobic. It's like Astro Boy, but it's Astrobic, BIC.
Cool.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Hanna, for being on. And what was I going to say? So enjoy your new MacBook.
Thank you. I am.
Okay, Paul, what about you, mate?
Yeah, you can catch me on PKTV on YouTube as well as Twitter. You can download my apps on iOS and Android. Yeah, that's you can catch me on Google Plus as well. So all good.
And also on this podcast.
Oh yeah, and Techwebcast. And possibly Tech Cluster if we do stuff.
No,
Jacob. Okay. All
Don't
good.
rely on it. Who else is he? Steve, what about you, mate?
That was a great show. And you can find me on Twitter as Chatterbox_live.
All right, good stuff. Jake, want to play something funny at the end?
If you want me to.
I don't want you to.
Oh, no. Got him started.
So, Hanna, are you going to be here next week, or are you having a break?
I'm not sure. Maybe. I'll confirm with you. We'll see. I do really enjoy being on Techwebcast. I love
Fun.
it. Yeah, it's good.
It's fun. I'm not sure where Jody is, but she's somewhere in a camper van or something, traveling somewhere.
Oh, lucky
Bertha.
her.
She's in Bertha.
Where is she, Steve?
She's in Bertha.
Oh, that's where she is. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Jacob and Hanna, Daryl, and Paul.
And
Steve,
I got something for you.
Doris.
oh God, go ahead. I'm just gonna... Go on.
Silence! Webcast. The hosts and guests are unsurpassed. Tech Webcast. Cause technology, it moves so fast. Tech Webcast. Ha, stick around and you're gonna have a blast. Yeah! Tech Webcast. Ha, ha. Tech Webcast. Big ups to Andrew, to Brad, Jody, Steve, and Jennifer. Boom!